So I have a theory while you were talking. Want
Mhm.
to hear my theory?
Let's lay it
I've
on
been
me, darling.
I've been watching a lot of this YouTube channel called Modern MBA, and he just goes over trends that have happened and failed. And so I think a lot about trends and stuff. And he went over a video game episode.
Mhm,
And I think that we're gonna see a similar thing happen with anime where, back when it was mostly when Halo 3 came out was like the big turning point of people were like, oh my god, graphics are crazy
mhm.
nowadays. And then fast forward, 20 years later, people are like, I don't give a fuck about graphics. I just want a good game and story. I think we're eventually going to see a little bit of a turning point when it comes to animation and anime and stuff to where, like, yeah, graphics and like animations are cool. But I mean, like, things like Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, Evangelion hold up because they have a great, interesting story. And I think that's gonna start being the turning point. I don't know when. I don't think it's gonna be for a while either because people are seeing crazy, fantastic spectacles on screen, and that's gonna be hard to get rid of. But I think eventually people are gonna start asking for some more in-depth stories and realize, I don't need amazing animations. I just want something cool to kinda listen to as a story. That's my little mini theory. I don't know, though.
I think it has to look good.
Yes, I agree.
But you're right. I don't think you
It can't
need,
be
like, the
static
insane
still.
visual spectacle. I think Free Rent is a really good example. Does it have its moments of, like, "Oh my goodness, this is popping off right now?" Yeah, it does. But, like, the day-to-day, like, little as they put it, like, their mundane adventures as they go
Right.
north, it's well done animation, but it's not, like, knock your socks off, like, "Oh my gosh, I
Right.
can't believe they actually did this." And it's got charm.
Yes.
And
I felt
and
the
it
same way with, like, watching Heavenly Delusion. Like, there was a lot of down points, and I didn't really care about the action all that much. I
Mhm.
just wanna know what's going on and happening. But same thing with
Yes.
Frieren, even the mundane moments were exciting for me. I love those.
I'm interested to see how things will progress over the next 10 years because in the last decade, it's been quite the explosion.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's why I was excited to do this podcast also because 'cause I'm like, dude, I think anime is really picking up to be more mainstream, and I was excited to, like, be more into the community a little bit and talk about it and add to it, 'cause I think it's such a cool medium and outlet for media. Very fun.
It's growing. I mean,
So,
and then I had the question of, like, do I think, like, fandoms will help or hurt the medium as a whole? Because is it gonna grow to the point where everything is so fractured that no one can stand each other? Or, are we gonna kinda get to the point where, everyone can enjoy whatever they like?
dude, I'm actually so glad you brought that up. I was actually about to bring that up literally just a minute ago. But sometimes and that's why I'm also glad we're doing this, because sometimes I watch some videos of people talking about anime or something, and they are so gatekeepy about it, and it annoys me. Like, I remember, what was it? And sometimes they're just so over the top about it. Oh yeah, I was watching a who can spot there's like five people who love anime in a box, and there's one guy who secretly hates anime. And it was weird to me that the only way they really were trying to determine if this guy hates anime was asking him, like, what obscure anime do you like? Have you watched this? Have you watched that? Like, you can like anime and not watch everything. You don't have
Mhm.
to watch everything. And so, like, that's kinda like what I sometimes get the vibe of the community of anime and fandoms of, like, you only really like it if you've watched everything, which is such a silly concept to me.
And you never know, like, how long someone's been watching it either. Like,
Yeah.
it has it been 15 years? Has it been 6 months? And it's like, well, you're not a real fan until you've watched it. It's like, "Oh, I like medical dramas." It's like, "Oh, really? How much of Grey's Anatomy have you finished?" It's like,
"Oh, yeah? How many surgeries have you performed I"
Oh, really? You like medical dramas? Name all of them right now, even the
Yeah.
obscure ones." It's like,
Yeah,
"Dude."
then name every significant organ in the body and what its functions are, idiot.
Oh oh, really? You're a soap opera fan? Yeah. Go ahead. Name every character on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
and then
wait.
tell me every single character that's ever been on Love Island, fucking nerd.
It's
Yeah,
so
that
stupid. It's
drives
a
me up a
medium.
wall. Dude, like,
What?
I was working last night, and one of the high school kids came up to me, and he was like, "You watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Or anything?" I'm like, "No, I've not really gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh! All that much." But and then he was like, "That's cool. I really have only been getting into anime, like, as of recently. I just watched Cowboy Bebop." And I was, like, blown away because I was like, "Dude, for your first anime as a" I think he's an 18-year-old, to be Cowboy Bebop? That's awesome. I
What
was
an
so
awesome
happy
s
for him.
Yeah, what an awesome springboard into everything
Yeah, I
else.
know. I was like, "Dude, that's awesome." Like, everyone gets started with and, like, when people come up to me, I've obviously watched more anime than a fair amount of people. And so, like, most of the time when I meet people, I've watched far more than they have. But they ask me, I just get excited that they're into it in the first place. I'm like, "Oh, what were your thoughts on your favorite show that you liked? Like, how'd you like it?" And then if we get into it more, it's like, if you like that, you might like this. But also, I try not to be the guy that tries to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna recommend you 25 different shows right now."
Yeah,
That gets fucking annoying.
oh, like, here's, like, a few. I don't wanna overwhelm you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but here's, like, 25 of my favorites. And
Yes, yeah.
then there's the people who are just so opinionated on, like for example, like, you're like, "Oh, I like Attack on Titan." They're like, "The ending was awful, though. You can't like that show." Shut the fuck up.
Like, "Yeah, show's mid, writing's bad, and, you're stupid for liking it." It's like,
Yeah, I know. Like, dude, I don't care if someone comes to me and says, "Our favorite anime is Sailor Moon," and I'm like, "Good for you. Fucking awesome. I love that for you."
and I say, "You are a fan of the most, powerful dynamic couple in anime and manga
Yeah, the
history."
the husband wrote Hunter x Hunter, right?
Yeah, and, Yu Yu Hakusho.
And Yu Yu Hakusho, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what do you tell me he was like, "Screw it, I'm rich, I'm retiring."
Well, Hunter x Hunter's been on hiatus,
Yeah.
and I think he's got a combination of, like, medical problems over the years and
Oh, okay.
also just kinda, like, burnout because 'cause he's been doing this for decades at this point, and I think it's to the point where it's like, why bother?
True, but anyways, I think with the fandoms are hurting or helping the medium as a whole, I think what's gonna happen is, like, I think some of those people we were kinda mentioning, the gatekeepers, the people who are super opinionated, that's the 1%, and of course, they're probably gonna be the loudest people of the bunch. I It's so weird, usually, like, I'd be more towards the end of being with the people who watch more stuff, but I actually gravitate towards a lot more people who are newer to anime and stuff because they're so, like, pure about it. They're like, "Oh, I'm just excited to watch it."
No,
You
you
know
know
what
what?
I mean?
Now that we're talking, I there is one group of people that absolutely drives me up a wall, and I'm guilty of it at times, but
Go
it's
ahead.
the people you could be talking about a series that you like or something that you enjoyed, and someone either online or in person has to interject and go, actually the manga's better." It's like,
Yeah. You have done that a few times, but at least, like, you do have, like, some good, takes on it, I think. Like, I think the biggest one you've been passionate about is Tokyo Ghoul.
dude,
You
the
had a couple other
artwork.
ones. Yeah.
Berserk is the obvious one.
Oh, Berserk, obviously, yeah.
Tokyo
Um,
Ghoul, I think just because 'cause they've kind of botched the adaptation, the artwork in
they
the
do.
manga is just, like, phenomenal.
Right, and I think, like, the hard reality is it of it is, like, as much as anime continues to grow, I can't really see, like, the manga, fan base growing as well. Maybe a little bit, some people who really like reading, but I think a lot of people are just gonna gravitate much more towards anime than manga, and that's something that I'm totally okay with. There's
Mhm.
a lot I've read a decent amount, but, I'm kinda in the middle where I like to buy volumes of anime and manga just because I like the aesthetic of it. That's really about it.
Mm,
They're fun to read too, like, it takes me 45 minutes to read, like, a volume sometimes, and it turns my brain off for 45 minutes, and I just read through it. It's a good time.
I think the part of it the other part of it I don't really like, aside from actually, the manga's better, is the people who you'll see online or again in person, someone will object to something that they didn't like in the adaptation. They're
Yeah.
like, I didn't really like this aspect of it, or blah, blah, blah. And then someone who's a manga reader went, "You're clearly not a manga reader then, because you would
Oh, yeah, dude.
understand this." It's like, dude, just shut up.
Dude,
Just
like
shut up. We get it.
find more things you have in common. Like, I don't get the whole, like, trying to correct other people about stuff. Like, "No, no, 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 it was this way, this way, this way." Like, you can have fun debates. Like, we debated all about Maki and Itachi. 5 weeks ago on, that episode. But, like, there's no point in time where we're like, "Actually, you're misinterpreting this part wrong, and so you're dumb." We didn't do that ever. It was more of just, like, a fun subjective debate where some people take it way too seriously.
Yeah, dude, like they focus more on being right than like
Yes,
enjoying the medium as a whole, which is the whole point. And I
and
just don't get it.
yeah, and that's the direction I really hope that the medium goes in the future, and not down the whole like, I hope that 1% of people who it's great that they love it so much that, they can be so knowledgeable and, know every little aspect of things that go on, but there's also an aspect if you read really far ahead in manga, like in JJK, you know, it's hard to really kinda connect and communicate with people who just watch the anime because, like, way more than they do. So, I think that's gonna be a little bit of a barrier in the future with that group of people, when it comes to the manga anime. I think you're pretty good about, you know, if I've only seen this anime and you've read way ahead, you're good at communicating with me about it. But I feel like there's a lot of people that cannot do that. They're like, "Oh, well, once you read the manga, it gets crazy, and this is what happens." Alright, dude.
I'm guilty of it at times. But
You are,
other
but, like, I think you've been better at it. I know, like, a few years ago, you were awful about it.
oh,
You've
so
gotten way
bad.
better about it.
So bad. Or I'll say like, hey, just give it a few episodes. They'll, explain everything that's going on.
Yeah, you've gotten way better about it, like, where you'll kinda just say, like, "Oh, dude, just wait. It gets so much better." You kind of, like, build on my suspense and hype that I have behind something, whereas I feel like some people would be like, "Oh,
Just wait
yeah,
100 chapters into the manga and things go off the rails.
I
It's like,
know,
okay, dude, I'm not waiting 4 years for an
I
adaptation.
know." So, yeah, either way, I think, like, the current fandoms I think can help, but also they can definitely hurt the medium as well as in being a barrier. They can, gatekeep a whole lot. And so that's why I'm excited that we're doing this is like I hope that like we can kind of open that barrier up a little bit and show people how accessible it is, how fun it can be, and how fun it is to just like read these new fucking stories, man.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
what I'm excited about.
that's the thing too. Like when people gatekeep and try to be like authority figures, the only thing you're doing is one, looking like a jackass, but also
Yeah.
you're potentially turning off people that might be interested in it because they're like, "Oh, well, if people like you are a part of this and insufferable SOBs, like I don't want anything to do with it." And
Dude,
like the point of this is like you do want it to grow and succeed so that more things are adapted and created and come out. And like if you're just like this insufferable windbag online, then you're just going to turn more people off from
exactly.
being a part of these communities. And so
Yeah.
like it makes no sense. It's ultimately self-destructive
Oh, I
to
know.
what you think you're doing.
Right. And dude, it's exactly we talked about this so many times before. I can't remember what game you brought up a while ago, but it was like, you get into a game and you realize everyone is 100,000 levels above you and super geared up and you're not. It's like that. Like imagine like that is what you're walking into. Like if you're the really geared up person, fucking help them out and don't be a douche.
Yeah,
But
don't start spitting off facts like, "I've been doing this for years and I've
oh, I
completed all
know.
these shows." Because like, you can overwhelm someone where they're like, "Oh, well, if I have to, get into this for the next decade," it's like you in weightlifting. Like, if you told someone, "Hey, it'll take you, like, over a decade to get into the shape that I'm in," people would be like, that's daunting."
Yeah, dude, I keep the delusion going until they're 10 years into it and realize that they actually couldn't do it in the first place.
That's
Dude,
like
actually, there was a guy that, came up to me in my weightlifting world the other day. He only recently started getting into anime. He's, like, 40. I love it. He came up to me, he's like, "Dude, Dylan, do you watch One Piece and Demon Slayer? Because those are the only 2 shows I have watched so far." He's like, "I just started One Piece." I was like, "Yeah, how do you like the fact that it's, 1,200 episodes?" He's like, "I knew that, and I'm kinda watching it just for fun, just to see how many episodes I can get through if I pick it up." I was like, "Oh, fantastic. Love Demon Slayer." And then I was like, I'll be honest with some people sometimes hate Tanjiro. He's like, "Yeah, no, I get that." He's like, "But it's a really pretty and spectacle of a show." I was like, "Oh, absolutely." And we were talking about it a little bit, and then I texted him later. I was like, "Man, a show you should check out." One thing I hate is when people talk about shows and they, suggest them to watch either the longest or most convoluted show, right?
Yeah.
Like I probably wouldn't recommend Bleach right now to him because it's 300 episodes, or
Yeah.
maybe, like, Evangelion because it's fucking confusing and no one can figure it out.
Yes.
But I was like, "Hey, if you like the, like, Demon Slayer, all that stuff, you should check out, like, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That's a good entry point for a lot of people."
Low commitment, 10
I was like
episodes.
that's what I told him. I was like, "Dude, 10 episodes, not confusing, it's amazing. You would love it." And every person I've suggested that to. It's such a good entry point. Like, I have a few shows I just constantly recommend to newer people because I know it's, like, low commitment, anyone can get into it, and they'll love it at the end. And
Mm.
so, like, that's a good way to go, but, like, if someone's new to watching anime, you know, depending on who they are, don't fucking recommend, you know, Naruto Shippuden.
No, you
It
should actually watch Monster. It's a slow 75 episode
it
burn, but it's worth it. It's like
yeah, and I know you don't know Japanese and you hate subtitles, but you'll have to watch it
it's like,
subtitled.
let them get into a little bit more of the nuance before they're like, "Oh, okay, there can be, like, some crazy writing in
Right.
these with, like, some of the most compelling villains in fiction."
Monster's a
And
great example you brought up, by the way. Like, it's an amazing story, but, not everyone would be their cup of tea at first.
no,
And
and,
get into it a little bit.
like, does it have one of my favorite villains ever? Yes.
Right.
But it's like 75 episodes, so it's
Mhm.
a bit more of a commitment, and it is a slow burn. Like there's going to be episodes where not a whole lot happens, and that
Right.
means some people have the attention of a goldfish. So,
Another great show to start someone off with, because I think I don't wanna say it's more Americanized because it's not, but it's really well done, and I've only watched even 1 episode of it, but To Be Hero X, I feel like that's a very easy thing to wrap your head around.
mhm.
Very fun animations, very fun everything, and dude, first episode, by the way, just to talk about it for a second, man, that hit me pretty hard.
I think like also you like look for shows with kind of inoffensive themes that aren't
Good
too
point.
like
Good
deep
point.
and introspective because it can be like potentially overwhelming.
I agree with
Where
that a lot.
if their preconceived notion is just kinda like, "I wanna see wild animations, cool things happening, and, like, a story that's easy to follow," give them that, don't gi it's actually a very introspective and psychological thriller. It's like, "H hang on."
A good way to wrap that up is don't recommend things that just you like.
Yes.
Recommend things that, like, they would like.